Welcome to Neural News Hub. The date is February 23rd, 2026. Now, on the surface, a nuclear standoff, a tech arms race, a trade war, and a cartel's collapse, they might all seem like totally separate stories. But they're not. They're actually four fronts on a single, interconnected global battlefield. And today, we're going to connect the dots and show you exactly how. All right, so here's what's on the docket. We're going to start with the new nuclear reality. Then, we'll dive into the escalating tech race in the Indo-Pacific. After that, we'll take a hard look at the fallout from the ongoing tariff wars. And finally, we'll analyze the power vacuum left behind by a collapsing cartel. Let's jump in. Okay, first up, this new nuclear reality. You know, for decades, the world has operated under something called the nuclear umbrella. Basically, the promise that a major power, like the US, would protect its allies with its nuclear arsenal. But that promise, which has been a cornerstone of global security for, 75 years? Well, it's starting to fray. And that really brings us to the central question facing strategists today. The old playbook, the one designed for a two-player game between superpowers, it's dangerously outdated. So the question is, how can those Cold War strategies possibly work in a world with multiple, independent, and, frankly, modernizing nuclear powers? Now, what's really fascinating here is how clearly this lays out the shift. We've gone from a bipolar game of chess to something more like a three-dimensional, multipolar one. I mean, think about it. Where the US once focused on a single peer in the USSR, it now has to deal with two nuclear peers, Russia and China, both of whom are rapidly expanding their arsenals. This just creates this web of interconnected and unpredictable threats, and it's putting a huge strain on old alliances. It makes deterrence a far, far more complex equation. So this new nuclear uncertainty, it isn't just some theoretical exercise. No, it is fueling a very real tech race. As those old alliances become less certain, nations are scrambling for any technological edge they can get. And the new frontline? It's the Indo-Pacific, a real hotbed where AI, advanced weaponry, and high-stakes deals are all colliding. So how are nations actually responding to all this? Well, let's take India's strategy as a prime example. They are pushing forward on multiple fronts. They're developing AI for their soldiers on the ground and deploying autonomous drone swarms. But at the same time, they're locking down major diplomatic deals for jets and submarines, all while using advanced surveillance to keep a close eye on regional threats. It's a perfect case study of how technology, military hardware, and diplomacy are now completely tangled together. But this competition isn't just about military hardware. Not at all. The new battlefield is also economic. In a world of shifting alliances, trade itself has become a weapon. And believe me, the shockwaves from these tariff wars can be just as destabilizing as any missile. And this brings us to the tariff shock. A sudden threat to impose massive tariffs can absolutely shatter global markets overnight. It's a tool, right? It's used to force concessions, but it's so unpredictable and it often backfires, creating just massive uncertainty. This forces nations and corporations to constantly rethink who they partner with, where their supply chains are, basically turning the global economy into this low-grade conflict zone that could boil over at any moment. This global instability doesn't just empower nations. It creates huge opportunities for powerful groups that operate outside of governments. When economic and political systems are under this much stress, groups that operate in the shadows can gain immense power. A perfect example is the power vacuum that just opened up with the assassination of a major cartel leader, and that has immediate and dangerous ripple effects. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, he wasn't just any drug lord. He led the CJNG, a group that had become even more powerful than the Sinaloa cartel, known for its extreme violence and its use of military-grade weaponry. His death at the hands of Mexican special forces is a big tactical victory, sure, but it creates a massive strategic problem. See, the fall of a kingpin like this doesn't end the violence. It often just triggers a brutal, bloody war of succession, destabilizing entire regions. And that instability has a direct impact on Mexico's neighbors, especially the United States, threatening border security and fueling a whole new, unpredictable wave of violence. So when you pull back, you're left with a really unsettling picture. A rewritten nuclear playbook, a high-speed tech arms race, a fragile global economy being used as a weapon, and powerful criminal empires that are thriving in all the chaos. These aren't separate issues. They're all connected fronts on a new global battlefield. The real question isn't if a major conflict will begin, but where that first domino will fall. Please hit the like and subscribe button for more such updates and informative videos.